Chris, good evening.
Good evening.
All right, it is 6:03 p.m. on Monday, April 20th. And we do have a quorum here, so I will call the meeting of the Copper Canyon Planning and Zoning Commission to order. And our first order of business is public input. And this is for anything that's not on our agenda. If you have any public comments on anything in the world but what's on our agenda, now's the time to speak up. I don't see any reaction, so we will end the public input. The second is a development update from our town administrator.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just real quick, we've got, as you guys recall, Williams Ranch, they're at their 2-year maintenance bond time frame. And so we've done some walkthroughs. They got a few things to tweak, but we're fixing to, approve all that. So that'll be done. And amazing, they've done about 30 houses in about 2 years. So that's where Williams Ranch is at. Copper Knolls, they're finishing up their fence on the north side. They have about maybe 8 or 9 more panels, sections to put up, but that was the last thing they needed to do to get that requested for us to do a final improvement acceptance on that. So once they get that completed, they paid all their invoices and they do all the other things they need to do, then we'll set up a walkthrough with Chris and the engineers and the water folks and all those guys, and we'll go through and make sure that all the improvements were done correctly, the fencing and landscaping and all those type things. So that's probably coming soon. Ani Ranch, as you guys can see, they put in the road. They got the loop road in there now. They're working on all the power and electrical stuff that they need to get in. So we're waiting for all that to be done. So another couple months probably on that. And then that's the latest and greatest on developments.
So no further word on whether they got to tear up the road for the water system or not?
I have not heard. I have reached out to one of the engineers over at the Water District and have not heard back from him. So I'll reach out to him again this week and kind of see what potentially may come up related to that.
Okay. And then I guess, Chris, on the Pilot Knoll Estates, that L-shaped retention, whatever the heck that thing is, we've had bad rains and it hadn't filled up very much. Do you know much? Have you had a chance to really look at that yet?
Not beyond what we can see kind of just from site visits. Yeah. Our guess is that because the development hasn't been fully done, that some of that rain isn't quite making it to those detention facilities.
Okay, because there's no hardscape yet, except
Right.
for a few roads. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty, thank you. Any questions from anybody? Nope. Next item is our consent item, which is the minutes of the March 16th meeting where absolutely nothing happened. So I'd take a motion to approve. Thank you. Second?
Second.
All right. The minutes are approved as presented. Our item for consideration tonight is a public hearing, which is continued from our prior month's meeting on March 16th, to make a recommendation to the town council regarding Hacienda de los Sueños, preliminary plat, lots 1 through 4, block A, allowing for the development of approximately 9.6 acres and to allow for the development of 4 single-family lots located at 399 Woodland Drive, Copper Canyon, Texas 75077. So it is now 6:06, and I will open the public hearing for this particular project, or reopen the public hearing for this particular project. And I have a couple of people who are maybe interested in speaking. I guess we'll start with Misha. You were here first. You want to tell us who you are and come up to the microphone? Yes. And I have their addresses and everything here. So.
Well, first of all, thank you, gentlemen, for having me. My name is Misha Kaufman. So I've been added on this project with Michael and Noel. So my background experience is real estate investment as well as development. I have an all-star team with me that will be helping along with the project, and I'm here to just introduce myself and then move this process along. We're excited to get started. We're going to be building 4 one-of-a-kind, about 6,000 square foot houses on 2+ acre lots. Dave is not only part of this project, but he was also the architect, so he's very familiar with how these are constructed, and they're all truly one-of-a-kind pieces that we're excited to bring to this community, and excited to answer any questions that you have. Also have Salamar here, who's the engineer on the project, to help with any of those questions.
Salamar, you want to speak at all? Or tell you what, why don't you speak and tell us where you are on answering all of our engineers' questions? Yes, please, that'd be great.
So, well, as you will know, this is, the preliminary plan submittal for this project was previously submitted last year, got approved in January 2025 or February 2025. We're moving forward with full construction plans and final plat, and then the project kind of paused until this year that we retook the project and then continue working on it. Since the preliminary plat had expired, we had to resubmit a new application for preliminary plat approval. As you probably already know, the ordinance this year changed a little bit, and there's a new checklist and then new ordinance items that we need to be in compliance with. And currently, we are finishing addressing all those comments to resubmit to the city engineer so they can fully complete the review and place the item formally for discussion.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for either of them? No? Anyone else want to speak tonight? All right. So, we're at an interesting spot here because we do have a couple options. One is we could just end this public hearing and that's it for this project tonight, or we could continue this again for another month. While we do have some great experience with this engineer, I might point out that this is the third meeting on this. We've had 2 meetings where we were promised we'd have stuff to review, and we have zip to review. So, the old saying, one time fool me. How many times am I going to do this? So, my suggestion, before I make a decision on the public hearing, is that we consider denying this application tonight in full recognition that it may be at our next meeting fully complete and totally done. My understanding is the town has graciously agreed to waive an application fee, a second application fee, provided it's done within the next 60 days. So denying it tonight would really have no, in my opinion, material impact, negative impact on this project. But I wanted to throw that out as one of our alternatives tonight. So unless anyone has any further comments in the public hearing, I think what I would like to do is close the public hearing at 6:10 p.m. And then we can consider this item. And I'd like to make a motion that, given that we have nothing to review, and that we've wasted our time for 2 meetings now, that we deny this application for tonight, in full awareness that it could be back here next month. That would be my motion. Is there a second?
Commissioner, can I just give a little bit more insight on it as well? So, as this project, as Selmar mentioned, they changed the name, they filed a new application, the previous one expired. We received the initial comments, which I think Chris could give some detail on this, which is roughly about 30 related to drainage. There's a big drainage on the north side of the property. With the tree ordinance, they had to do a tree survey, and they were in the process of doing all those things. Chris's team had submitted comments back to them on March 4th, and then we're just now getting comments back from the engineer. So we were a little surprised that it took quite as long to do that. But I just wanted to kind of give you some time context of when we received it, when we got our comments back, and then now we're here today.
Right. So I don't think that changes my feeling that I can't be confident that we will see this in a done, complete, approved by our town engineer state within the next month or 3 weeks from now, in order for everything to get done and get in front of us and be public noticed again.
Right.
So I still think I'd like to suggest that we deny the application tonight. Again, no prejudice. Is there a second?
So I want to make sure I understand kind of the timeline of things, how this impacts the project, and this would me just not being aware.
Can you come up to the mic?
So I did want to provide a little bit of context of whatever you guys decide, I respect. So part of the reason for the delay on our end was just getting the lending sorted out. So we were supposed to close about 4 weeks ago on the loan, and it just got pushed back, and it wasn't anything, no, I wasn't involved in any of this part, but title had a hiccup, and then there was a legal hiccup, so we had anticipated closing well before, which was to provide, and part of our agreement with the loan was the engineering payments, so like all that is built in. So I know that led to probably a delay in payment, which may have led to a delay in terms of a response. That's all been cleared up now, so we did close on the loan about a week and a half ago, and now everything is kind of being able to be pushed forward right away. Again, I wasn't part of that process, but if there was a delay, that may have been one of the reasons why.
All right, and that's all well and good, and thank you for that clarification. Doesn't change anything. We haven't got nothing to review here. We're here meeting about something that we have absolutely nothing to look at, except for 30 comments from our engineer on the last draft. So, again, our option is to just say, well, let's just leave it open and hope you come back next time. Or we say, look, let's just deny it for tonight, no prejudice. If everything gets done, you'll come back to the next meeting, which you would have had to do anyway. So as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't really add any material delay or difficulty to your project. You have to answer all the questions for the engineers anyway. You have to pass through the town's complete application process anyway. So it has no real material impact or delay to your project, in my opinion. It just saves us from having to, we're going to continue this and hope next month maybe we meet again for nothing. So I just want to avoid that. That's my only point.
And Commissioner, to add to that, we would have to post the public hearing next Wednesday. So all the comments would not only have to be back to our team, but then we would review those, and if there's additional comments, then the final comments would then have to come back again and so that's seven-day turnaround time for both groups to investigate all the comments and then reverse them back in order to make that May 18th meeting. So it'd be pretty tight.
So it's a 7-day turnaround if you left it open to make the next one basically for.
Yes, for all the 30-plus comments to be addressed by both parties.
So, any other further discussion? Difference of opinion?
I think it's probably the right thing.
All right, well, I'll
Second it.
second it. All right, there's a motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion on that motion? No? Okay, hearing none. I'd say, is anyone opposed to the motion? No? Hearing none?
Nay.
I'm sorry, what would you prefer to do?
I'll continue it.
You prefer?
I think the compressed timeline's gonna be a little motivational for these folks. They have a closed loan. I do some of the business they're in, and they're paying interest as of now, so there's some motivation. So that's why I'm voting nay.
Okay, all right. So we have 4 for and 1 against. Motion carries. And don't think we have any reason for an executive session that I'm aware of. So, unless there's any further business from anyone, we will declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming in. We look forward to seeing you next month.